my name is Vivienne. I'm 22 years old. I live in Germany, more specifically in Bavaria. And yes, I go to university here. I work as a waitress on the side and do many other things. And one of those things, and one of the biggest things, is knitting. I really love to knit, and I've been knitting for around 1.5 years now. And it's become not just a hobby, but an obsession. I just really love how you can just achieve anything you have in your head with knitting, and how it calms your mind if you're maybe stressed or if anything doesn't go as you wished it would, then you just can knit and everything's fine again. So that's why I decided to start my own knitting channel. I plan on doing those videos in English because I just like to be able to communicate with the whole knitting community. You know, like I love the Norwegian knitters, I love like the English, Canadian, American, whatever. I just love those channels. For example, Handmade by Florence, and I just really would love to be part of that. But I do think that I'm going to also have a German channel. We'll see. But for now it's only English. And yes, I think we should start with the video. Yes. So, but before we start, I would love for you to grab a coffee. Or some water, just to stay hydrated. And I just want to tell you that right here, down here, and there's my laptop, and it's also my viewfinder. Plus I have some notes laying around, so yeah, I might be looking downwards quite a bit, but yeah, I think it's going to change with time when you are more, when you know how you do all this, and when you have done it a few times, then maybe this will reduce itself. So, let's get started. Okay, what am I wearing today? I am wearing Blouse No.1 by my favorite things knitwear. This is a piece I've made it, no, not last summer. I think it was one of the first summer pieces I've knit, or summer pieces. It's quite hot for a summer piece. But it's essentially a blouse by Knitting for Olive. It has a little nice U-boat cutout, like a broader cutout, so you have a nice neckline. I really love this type of neckline on me, so when I saw this blouse I was like, need it, so I got it. And it's knitted out of 2 strands of silk from Knitting for Olive. And I really like this yarn. Like, it's a really nice yarn. It's a little bit rustic feeling, you know, because when you think about silk, you think about all those nice little silky scarves that are just like so creamy. But the silk is another type of silk, so it's a bit rougher, but it feels nice on the skin, like no itch at all. And it's kind of summery, but for me, this blouse is knitted with 2 strands of the silk, so it gets quite hot. So like now in the winter, I'm wearing this with something underneath, and it's totally fine for me. I'm not really cold, so yeah. And in the summer, I couldn't really wear it sometimes because it was just so hot. But even though it's so warm, you can get quite a lot of air through it, you know, like the gaps between the stitches are quite big. Not quite big, but looser than when you would knit with wool, because in wool, like, the little hairs just go into each other, and here this doesn't happen. So yes. Overall, I really like this project. I really like that I knitted it in black, because so it's really nice and elegant and universal, and I can wear it whenever, wherever, to work or just going out, yeah, riding my bike. Yeah, I can do everything with it. So yes, and one thing I did that I would maybe do differently next time is I casted off the body quite tightly. it fits, like it's not cutting or anything. I still have plenty of room, but still it's kind of, yeah, not uncomfy, but not the best when you put it on. But for me, as soon as I wear it, it's just great because it's a bit tighter and it holds the shape really well. Same with the neckline. Like I thought, maybe I don't like it when I only cast on stitches because you don't do anything else on this neckline, but it's totally fine. Yes, so that was the Blouse No.1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. Now I want to show you my favorite knit piece of the whole year. Because because it's my first video, I just wanted to introduce myself a little bit, and I thought how my favorite piece I've been wearing this year might be a good introduction. So I have not depilled the sweater, but I already see that I should do it because I've been wearing it quite a lot. So it's fine. It's so pretty. So this is it's black, so I'm not sure how good it's going to pick up. This is the Terrazzo Sweater, like this, by petiteknit. Oh, look at this, oh my god. It has like a saddle shoulder design. Here you can see it maybe. Oh no, you can't really. I'm just going to tell you about it. It has a saddle shoulder design and a kind of set-in sleeve. I don't know if it's a satin sleeve or raglan. Like it has this raglan line, but you knit it differently than a regular raglan. So, I know, you knit it like a normal raglan, yeah. So it's kind of saddle shoulder, kind of raglan. And it's, she's knitting it with Nr.1. petiteknit is knitting it with Nr.1. And I used 1 strand of Daisy by Drops and 2 strands of Premia by Lana. Premia is their soft silk mohair. So it has like 300 meters on 20 grams. It's a really, really thin mohair. That's why I used 2 strands of it. It's also a really expensive mohair. And I could not have made this sweater when my mom would not have helped me pay for the Premia, because it's really expensive, especially when you think about this huge neck, this huge sweater, you know, and those arms, and then you have 2 strands of mohair. Yeah, but it's one of my favorite knits because it has this twisted rib collar, and here with the twisted rib, the thing is that you have to twist your knit stitches as well as your purl stitches. Now you can see it a little bit better. So it looks the same on both sides. And then back here, down here at the sleeves, you only have to twist the knit stitches because you're not really supposed to fold this over. So you don't need both sides to be the same, and it's a lot easier, but from the right side it looks exactly the same. But here it's just twisted, both stitches are twisted because you can see it on both sides. Same down here. Yeah. And as with all petite knit patterns, it's just a really well written pattern, and you can just really work with it and trust it. If she tells you to pick up X, Y stitches, then just do it. There was a time where I was like, I don't know, am I doing this right? She's writing it down like this and I'm doing it like this, but maybe it's not right. With petite knit patterns, you just do what she writes, even though it feels kind of silly sometimes. It's going to work out. Yeah, so that's my favorite knit. I wear it to work occasions, to go to the bib, to ride a train, and it keeps me warm, like really warm, but it doesn't overheat me. So when I'm getting hot, it's not because of this sweater, because it keeps me cool, you know. So great, I love it. So that was the Terrazzo Sweater by petiteknit, my favorite knit of the last year, 2024. So now that we have talked about what I'm wearing and my favorite knit of the year 2024, I would like to talk with you about what I've been knitting on recently and what I finished recently. Later on, I'm going to talk about my whips. So, recently I have finished, let's start with the smaller object, these mittens. I'm going to write the name of the pattern down because I don't have it in my head right now. And it's so hard to look anything up when your laptop is like your viewfinder because, and your smartphone is your camera because you don't have anything to look it up. So I'm just going to write it down so you can see it. But there are those beautiful mittens. Like, look at this. It's like a cable pattern with bobbles down the middle. And here on the right side, it's just on the wrong side or in the inside of the glove mitten, it's just plain stockinette. And this one, it's so pretty. Like, just look at it. Oh my god! I don't know. It reminds me of a church, like one of those church windows. You know, not windows, but the construction of the church, like with those arches and this filigrane design. Oh my god, so good. One of the gloves is kind of longer. I don't know how this happened. Like, oh no, right now not. Ah, yeah, you can see it. Like a little bit, like slightly. This one is longer, but it's alright. And what you may also have noticed already is that on one glove, the thumb isn't closed. Because I am a person, I don't really like to wear gloves because whenever I need to access my phone or want to do anything with my fingers, you have to pull them off. And then putting them on again is kind of annoying sometimes, especially when you have such a wide part that goes up your sleeve. So my mom suggested that I just don't knit the thumb completely. And now, when I put my hand inside, I still have the tip of my thumb open. Please don't look at my nails, I really need to do them. And I can use my smartphone or whatever I really want to access without any problem. And I don't have to pull off my mittens. Can keep on wearing them, have nice warm hands. My thumb gets a little bit cold, but that's totally fine, better than my whole hand. And yes, and on this hand, come on, let's put them both on. Oh my god, look. So pretty. Yes. Yeah. Okay, you can see I'm in love with it. The yarn I used. Okay, I used Landlust by Lana Grossa. It's Alpaca Merino 100. And as the name suggests, it's made out of alpaca and merino, 50% merino, 50% alpaca. And it has 100 meters on 50 grams. And as you can see, it was on sale because my local yarn store, where I also go for like our knitting meetups, just had a sale, like a pop-up store right next to them where they were selling only wool that was on sale. So I needed to buy some. I have bought some. And this was one of those. And it's really nice and soft, like really nice. It's really soft because for me, I love alpaca, but sometimes alpaca doesn't have enough structure. And then I love the mixture between alpaca and merino because it gives the softness, but also the structure. And it's just a perfect mix. It's a nice cream color. I still have 4 balls of this left. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, but I think I'm going to make like a cowl fitting with this glove pattern. I mean, I think I would use exactly the same pattern and just make a cowl out of it because then you have like a fitting pair and it would be really nice. I mean, I could of course not sell this pattern, but just for me, I think it would be a nice addition to those gloves or like mittens. And the next thing I finished recently, I love it. And I'm sure you're going to love it as well, is this thing. the Bapuri Cardigan. I'm going to write down a knitter for you, and you will also be able to find any of those patterns as a link, so don't worry about that. So now it's closed. This is the Bapuri Cardigan. It's a really, really nice raglan cardigan, and it has a lot of cables, all the same cables. So like you don't have to knit any different kind of cables. Like here you have many different types and different ways of knitting them. Right here it's just the same cable, but they are just arranged differently. It's such a nice pattern. Look at this. You have the option in her pattern to also knit a bow instead, a bow instead of the buttons, but I decided on the buttons because for me a bow is like I can only wear it close there, because else the bowstrings are falling down and I'm not really a fan of that. Plus, like this, I can wear it up, I can dress it down, dress it up, dress it down, whatever. Yes, here's the back side, and in between the cables you have, the light is kind of, it's it. And in between the cables you have really nice moss stitch. Here you can see it, like regular moss stitch, and it makes it really nice. I knitted the smaller size. She has two sizes. I knitted the smaller size, and yes, I'm really happy with it because I can wear it to dresses and jeans and skirts and whatever, and it's just a nice additional piece to dress up any outfit. So now we have finished that part. I would love to start with what I'm working on currently. So where do we start? Oh my god. We start with taking a sip of coffee. That's always a good idea. Oh, and I love this. I love this mug, because here we have a ceramic store, Motel Amino, and they sell such beautiful pieces. And I bought this one there. I think it's so unique. Like, it has a really nice shape, but it's still really, like, it's not thin walled. It has really thick walls, so I can drink any hot drink out of this and my hands are not going to burn. So I love it. But enough of cups. That's a whole nother story. We will start with, yes, let's do this. Oh my god. Okay, we will start with this, and then because I forgot the wool of my Bapuri cardigan, but it's no problem because I am also knitting, oh god, the Berlin scarf. By Paula Strickt it was, I think. You know, I have not put any tassels on yet. I am at around 140 meters, I think. Yes, it's a plain. I think anyone who is knitting has heard about the Berlin scarf. It is such a popular pattern, and she uses originally worsted alpaca, and I decided against it. I don't know why, but I just love it. It's so soft and plush and has a nice feel to it, and it's supposed to be knitted to 1 meter 80. So when you wash it, it turns a little bit longer and a little bit smaller. That's why I also picked up some stitches, because I thought maybe it's too thin. Now I'm not sure if it's going to be too broad, but either way we're going to go with it. Yeah, I decided against worsted alpaca by Sandnes Garn. Instead, I'm using these. You can't really see anything. That's why I brought fresh balls with me. Where's the other fresh ball? Yes. I used the same yarn as with the Bapuri cardigan, so you know we can do all at once. It's great. I used alpaca by Drops in this nice creamy color. It's a really nice creamy color. It has a slight yellowy touch, but it's not a bad yellowy touch. Like, it's not yellow, but you can see it doesn't have pink undertones, let's say it like this. And this is a really nice and soft yarn. It has 167 meters per 50 grams, and it's 100% alpaca. Yeah, and just as I told you before, I love alpaca, and this is really nice and soft and plush. But I think it, even though it's a sport weight from like the meterage, it works more like a fingering weight yarn. Plus, I don't know, because it's only alpaca, I feel like it doesn't have as much structure as many other yarns. So that's why I decided to use Drops alpaca, brushed alpaca silk as well. In this nice, yeah, also creamy color. This one has more of a rose touch, you know. The other one is a bit more yellowy, this one is a bit more rosy. It's made out of 77% alpaca, 23% silk, and it has 25 grams and 140 meters. And the combination of those two is just really nice. Yeah, no. Just really nice, and it makes this really, really nice drapey fabric. Like the alpaca, the brushed alpaca silk also really helps to stabilize the color of the alpaca, plus to just fill up all the spaces that might not have been filled up with the alpaca alone. So I really love it. You need quite a lot of yarn, and you go through it quite quickly. I'm using 6.5 millimeters on this one. The pattern suggests 7 millimeter needles, but I'm also a looser knitter, so I tend to always go down a size, also with petiteknit pattern. Bapuri Cardigan is knit with 4 millimeter needles from the pattern on. I also knitted with 4 millimeter needles, and it worked out fine. So it really depends. You should always make a how do you say it? You should always make a, yeah, so it worked out fine. You should always make a swatch. Let's say it like this. Yeah, so that's it with the Berlin scarf, because I think I'm talking quite a lot, so I will try to go on a little bit quicker from now on. Next thing I have on my needles is the November neck by who would have thought petiteknit. I'm this far. It's a brioche, like neck warmer. You put around your neck, and then you fold it over. And you can wear it under, over your jacket, however you like it. And I think it's just a really nice piece. But to be honest, I have not knitted on this for some weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks. I do get quite discouraged with brioche knit. I do love the look of it. Like, I see so many nice patterns from Sandnes Garn, for example. I'm like, oh yes, I need it, but it's brioche. And I don't need to make a whole cardigan in brioche. I already started my aglet cardigan. It was quite early in my knitting journey. I used kind of the wrong yarn, and then I used brioche. So, and I got really far, but then I stopped it, and now I want to pick it up again. But as I said, it's not the right yarn, you know. It was just, I didn't look at the quality as much back then. So now knitting with a not so good quality yarn kind of feels wrong. Not because anything is wrong with the yarn, but for me, it's really important with all my knits is the quality, because I could buy a sweater from H&M for 30 bucks, same look, way cheaper, and I don't have to work on it. Of course, knitting is my hobby, but it's also about the quality. I don't want to wear polyester all the time, or baumwolle or cotton all the time, because when you buy like those vintage sweaters from, how do you say it? From Ravelry, then it's also 100% cotton, except when you buy a sweater for a few €100, and I don't want to do that. So quality is a big part of why I'm doing it, and that's why I just stopped knitting this. And right now, I just don't feel inspired to keep on knitting on this one. I don't know why. I like the color. I kind of like the product. I'm not sure how much I would wear it. But I think as soon as the weather is getting to a point where you can wear your leather jacket again, maybe then I'm going to wear it. So yeah, we'll see. It's a whip currently. Let's see how long it's going to stay on. I think we're going to see this bad boy a few times in the future. I'm going to talk with you about the yarn. I'm using suggested yarn knitting for Olive Family Merino. It's a merino yarn. It has 125 meters and 50 grams. And it's a really nice yarn. Like, it's a rustic yarn that really blooms when you wash it, especially when you wash it multiple times. Like, once may not do the trick, but when you wash it a few times, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking because I'm sitting on my on something that's not really stable enough, but hey, it still works. But I really like this yarn, and I really like this color. So this color is called Nordic Beach, Nordstrand. Yeah, what did I say? And for me, it's kind of like it's kind of like oatmeal-y, but also sandy. So I think Nordic Beach fits quite right, and it's a really nice beige color. I kind of like beige. I had a time where I was like, ugh, beige, but now it kind of has something luxurious, you know, like beige. What's the word beige? So that was the wool. Now let's get to the next whip. I'm just going to talk about really quickly right now because it's a ongoing whip. This is the Braidy loop sweater by Other Loops. Yep, and it has this really, really nice cabled detail that goes down the neck and the arms. Like, you have two cables that go down your arm, and the rest of your body is knitted in an 8x2 rib, and it's a really nice pattern, but it's really oversized. That's what annoys me a little bit, because I tend to don't like too oversized sweaters, and I don't know, I kind of thought it would be fine with this one. But right now I'm just like, oh my god, it's going to be such an oversized sweater. I'm not feeling it. Plus, I'm not sure about the yarn because of the color. I think the color is great, but I always tend to, even though it doesn't seem like it because what I have shown you right now is really, really plain and basic, but I always tend to buy colored yarn. I don't know why. And what happens with that is either I'm not going to start anything with this colored yarn, or when I start it and I finished it, I'm not wearing it as much. The only colored thing I'm wearing constantly right now is my Bapuri cardigan in red. You're going to see it, of course, eventually. And not today, but someday. And I don't know, it's just so annoying when you want your basic pieces and you keep on buying colored yarn and you're like, girl, stop it. But I don't stop it, and that's the problem. So now I have this really nice sweater, you know? It's a really nice sweater, but it's going to be quite big, plus a color I'm not sure about. Plus the yarn is this one, it's Seta. Yeah, Seta by Lana Grossa. It's a sock yarn, and that's also a problem because, wait a second. Of course, it's right down here. Why shouldn't it be? Okay. Because here, this is the Seta. Wait, I'll get the Seta Suri as well. Okay. The Seta is a really nice yarn. It's a sock yarn from Lana Grossa under Meilenweit, it's called. I think a lot of their sock yarns are called Meilenweit and then whatever. It's a 100 gram ball, so you get quite a lot. And it has a meterage of 400, like 400 meters per 100 grams. So, and it costs $9.95, I'm sorry. So you get quite a lot of yarn for quite a good price. And it's quite a good yarn because it's made out of 55% virgin wool, so merino. 25% polyamide and 20% silk. That's why it's called Zeta. And it's really nice. I've knitted socks out of this. They fit really nicely, but they grew a lot. And it doesn't bother me with those socks. I really like it, so it's not really annoying. But with a sweater, I'm not so sure. But they're really nice. They're soft. They don't overheat you. They have nice heating, whatever, how you can say with wool. And they do not pill. Like my socks don't really pill a lot. Of course, they pill on like the back side, where your shoe rubs against a lot, but else they're quite fine. And with it, I'm holding the Suri. It's a 69% alpaca and 31% silk wool. It has 25 grams and 212 meters per those 25 grams. It's kind of like mohair, but it's not mohair, it's made of alpaca. That's why I like it, because I do love mohair, but I think mohair also heats you up quite a lot. Plus, if it's not good mohair, it doesn't mean it has to be expensive, because some top skid silk can also be really nice, but then you get some more expensive mohair and it's just itchy. So with mohair, it's really important for me that I get a good quality or some mohair that I really like. And I don't always want to use mohair, even though maybe the price is the same, but I just don't want to use mohair. Plus those two yarns fit perfectly together, so that's why I chose them. Yeah, and that's my only hope. This is my hope for the sweater. Because of this, I think it's not going to stretch too much, but I'm not sure. And that's kind of keeping me back from finishing it. Even though it's really nice. And it's knitted on 4mm needles, so it's also quite a project, but hey. I know that I'm going to finish this eventually, but not right now. So, and what I'm also knitting on is something I drafted myself. I'm not going to show too much, because I think I'm going to... No, I don't think. I'm going to release a pattern of this. You can just see. You can't see. Yes. That's what I'm going to show you. It's a nice cabled sweater, inspired by those Ravelry sweaters. And yeah, I just really wanted one of those. It was like, you know what, I'm going to make a pattern myself, and then I can also share it with others. Oh, and I had some yarn in stash that I didn't know what to do with, which is again knitting for olive, same as before with the November neck. So 125 meters, 50 grams, 100% merino in the color Bordeaux. Really nice color, really elegant color. Oh, I'm sorry, I think you could hear that. And I really love it. Yeah, so that's a little whip. I'm going to leave it at that, because you are going to hear a lot more about this, so don't worry. The other thing I'm knitting on is also self-drafted, a knitting pattern. I'm knitting on it, but I'm not really going to knit on it anymore. So I think that's where we are going to switch from whips to yarns and plants. So, yarns I have bought recently are ones... Yeah, why? Why bother with the label? This is Brigitte Nr.1 by Lana Grossa. As you can see, I use quite a lot of Lana Grossa yarns, because I have a store right around, and this was also in a sale. It's 100% merino, and it has a yardage of meterage of 75 meters per 50 grams, so it's quite a thick wool. And it seems kind of rustic, but it's so soft. It's so soft. Oh, it's so nice. Like, I usually don't knit with bulky or super bulky yarn, but this I can really imagine for myself, for like a jacket. Little hint. And I bought this one to make a pattern myself, as well as this one. I'm just in pattern mode, you know. I kind of have so many ideas, and that's why I want to share them. That's why I also bought this. It's Line by Sandnes Garn. It's a 53% cotton, 33% viscose, and 13% linen yarn. Produced in Norway, and it has 110 meters per 50 grams. Really nice yarn, and it's this nice color. It's kiwi. Oh yes, I think it's a really nice summery yarn, you know, like with my brown hair and my brown eyes. I think it would fit really nicely. And I'm planning on making a little top. How this top is going to look, you're going to see eventually as well. But just, yeah, stay tuned. I already have started one draft of this top, but I'm going to rip it all up. That's why I was like, not really a whip, because I'm going to open it and start from fresh, because it didn't turn out the way I wanted to. So I don't want to finish it and then be like, not really my style. Then I will not be making a pattern out of this, you know. I'm just going to let it lie on the side, wear eventually or occasionally, and then it's finished. Don't want this to happen. Yes, and the last yarn acquisition I want to talk about today is this one. Oh yes, Cardiff Cashmere, 100% Cashmere. Ooh, I've seen this in the store and I was like, oh my god, I need it, and I've needed it for so long. I know it. I wanted to buy it so many times, but I never did. But then I was like, you know what? One ball doesn't hurt, because one ball costs 15 euros. It really hurts. Plus one ball is only 25 grams and 112 meters. So really, what did I do? Why? How can I explain buying a 50 euro ball with such a low meterage? But it's cashmere, so that's how I can explain it. And I plan on knitting like a nice little scarf, not too broad, and a nice little white scarf. And maybe you can then close it with like a golden snap or locket or whatever. I will have to look what I'm going to use for this, but it's going to be really nice. Yes. Yeah, and that's my last acquisition, is actually my favorite acquisition. And I'm just excited for when I'm going to cast it on. But I need to finish or keep on working on something else before I cast this on, because then I have so many whips again. Because I also have some in the background you can't see right now that have been whips for longer they have been knitted on. That's why I'm a bit shy about showing them. Maybe I will go over all my whips one day. I have a nice big carpet that I can spill them all, and then we can go through them. But for now, I leave it at that. Yes. And yes, that's it for today. I have shown you what I'm wearing right now. My favorite knitted piece of the year. My recently finished objects, the things I'm working on right now, and the yarn I have bought. And now it's time to say bye-bye. I hope you liked the video. And when you have any suggestions, maybe you didn't like the sound, maybe the light wasn't right, I'm sitting too low, whatever, video quality, or you need more information, because there are things you can sometimes forget, then like about the knitted pieces, just write it in the comments, and I would be really glad to read through them and receive any of your comments. I really hope you liked this video. If so, please leave a thumbs up, and yes, you will be seeing me in the future and in the next videos. I'm really excited about those. Yeah, and thank you for being here, for listening to me, being with me, chatting with me, and we will see each other very soon. Bye!